On the TV table, we have an all-in kickoff.
You sometimes forget how lucky you have to be not to end up with this spot, kings against the aces over the course of a tournament, right? I mean,
well, not to be underestimated is the negative of luck, not to get into bad situations.
Yeah, that's the one they forget about, isn't it? I mean, people talk about the hand they got beat in, but they forget about all the bullets they dodged along the way.
Right.
You know, so not getting unlucky is as crucial as getting lucky, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Another great performance from the Camel. And not a bad payday, but you won't be thinking about that right now. It's been a clinic from Ben Roberts today, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Which is nothing less than we expected, but commendable anyway.
Well, it's just like I told you earlier. His strategy is to soar like a vulture over the playing field.
And he is right now soaring like a vulture over everyone at this table except for James Mitchell, who's probably looking down at his 800,000 and not feeling like he's the chip leader. And when you're 20 years old,
he's feeling about 24 at the moment. You grow up very quick in this game.
But this is a spot that a million hands on the internet doesn't even really give you, does it? The feeling of getting knocked back a little bit in a big tournament.
It's a shock to your system for sure.
We've got action here. This is the first time Sherwood's played a flop almost since we've seen it, and what a flop it is.
This is an unbelievable flop.
Is Freeman's best plan right now going to be sort of a big check raise, or is his stack a little awkward for that? Has it gone check, check?
It's gone check, check.
Indeed, good news for Freeman.
Brilliant news for Freeman.
Oh, hold on.
32,000.
No, I mean, wait, Sherwood's never checked. He really shouldn't be checking that flop ever, should he?
No. I think it's correct to bet there. Call, wow.
He's kind of dodged a bullet there, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. That was... Now he's drawn up inside straight draw.
Is this just his overall, the way he plays, or do you think it's more like he would have check raised all in if he had about 150, 200, and now with 300 back, he just decided he didn't like that play?
I think that's a good observation there.
Call.
Is Rob guilty of underbetting this, or is he only underbetted against this exact hand?
I think he's only underbetting against this exact hand. And this is a good card for Sherwood. Gives Fryman a top overpair, which he's going to think has to be a good chance for that being good.
Right, and if...
Phil Helmut warning me one day, but be careful what you wish for.
95,000. 95.
Oh, it's practically impossible for Freeman to get away from this.
Yeah, I agree. He doesn't even look like he's thinking about it, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, well, there's so many hands he can beat here.
Freeman is probably going to ending up sort of lucky that he's still in this tournament after this hand, and that's about it.
Yeah, but you know, he's thinking, is the Sole Survivor going to bluff me in this spot?
But as I was saying, will the Sole Survivor still going to have 300,000 left if he was bluffing?
He called.
3 6s, yeah.
He has called, and for Sherwood, wow, this pot is really significant. Oh, he's nearly the chip leader at this table now. And he's sort of very well regarded on the internet in the UK, but
I can see why.
Oh my gosh, this is Bronkowski, who
he's had a pretty miserable few hours, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he's with the 8-9. He's not the worst flop in the world, but he needs help. This pot doesn't look so big.
He needs a lot of help.
And Tyler Bronkowski, this...
A great performance from the young man.
Yes, and this looks like a name you should remember.
Even if you can't spell it.
I went to college, but I wouldn't say that it really had much to do with poker. I started playing home games with friends, got interested, read a poker book, learned like basic strategy, and just basically everything hands-on, just keep getting experience, moving up level after level. I'm really good at math, but I barely use it at all at the poker table, really. I just go with my guts and what I think is going to work, so I do that.
Morris Wellen, one of the 3 remaining sole survivors, has joined the table. And is considering he was down to 6,000, he's teach Murphy a little bit about multiplying. In the 7th seed, here's Paul Carr from Cork, first time on the featured table. And now there's a reason for sunglasses, let's be honest. It's, well, I guess it's always exciting when something you predict may come true and that's Ben's classes. It just seems like all of a sudden he's rising up at the exact right time. You know, don't show the gear unless you have to or unless it's time to.
That's about it.
Oh, this is going to be an interesting clash here.
Queens.
Raised.
Especially after the last hand. It's kind of like almost what Mitchell didn't want to see, because he's got to make a tough decision.
Absolutely. This is against the player raising from that position. This is definitely a borderline hand. Ben's raising from middle position, so I wouldn't call and I wouldn't raise. I'd just throw the hand away.
Save it for the blackjack there.
He's going up against a good player who has a large stack, so that's not a good combination. And you have a modest hand at best.
A few options open to Ben here, isn't there?
Mitchell's got him covered by about 200K.
Mitchell's Ben's not going to take queens and gamble here. He has too many chips.
So he's willing to get this pot taken off of him if it comes over cards.
That's correct.
What about now?
No, he's not going to. I doubt he'll lay the hand down now. Oh, and Mitchell's got to think he's got a good chance he has the best hand. Mitchell has to bet here because he has
Why?
because he has to be afraid of overcards. He should think he has the best hand now.
Check.
Oh wow.
I mean, is Mitchell a little worried about the fact this is the first time Ben's called one of his re-raises, if I'm not mistaken? I mean,
Right.
That should be an alarm bell right there.
Absolutely.
It's certainly a bit of a clue.
Check.
That's a chunky bet.
That's the kind of bet Ben wants to see. Ben likes his hand. And how much is it?
So someone's just got knocked. I think
Marty.
it's bad, Marty Wilson. Well, God, what a great performance. Look at that round of applause he's getting. But on this table, I mean, the idea about pot control, Dan, is this pot already so big related to the stack sizes that?
Well, this is the perfect bet as far as Ben is concerned. He loves this bet.
Why?
Because he thinks there's a good chance he has the best hand, and now he's going to find out for a relatively cheap price. He made up his mind he's calling it. I don't know what he's doing.
Call.
I guess he wanted to look impressive.
Oh, right. Oh, right. Sorry, it was on the river. Why did I think that was the turn that he had bet? Right, obviously. It would have been different on the turn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, this is...
It's perfect play from Ben, isn't it? He's,
well, yeah, no. I think he's supposed to bet the 85,000 myself, but it's too desperate a chance that this guy respects him so much he's going to check a hand, like a pair of sevens or something down or whatever it was. It could have been.